Welcome to Toffee TV. Today I am joined by former Everton defender, played over 200 games for the Blues, the man mountain, the machine, that is Sylvain Distin. Sylvain, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
I've got to say, you are still looking magnificent. Got to say it.
Magnificent, I don't know about magnificent, but I'm trying to keep fit. I enjoy the feeling of being an athlete, and even if I retired, I try to remain athletic. So it's enjoyable.
It's still doing. I've seen you've done swimming and biking and all sorts, so you're
Yeah,
varying it.
yeah. I love challenges, and I set myself the challenge to do a triathlon last year, and the bike was okay, the running as well, but then I started swimming, and I realized that would be tough, so I downgraded to like a sprint triathlon, so it's shorter distance for swimming, still very challenging, 750 meters, and I did it last year. And this year I started to train in January. I started to train for a triathlon,
Okay.
Olympic distance triathlon, which all the distance are double. Since 1.5k swimming, 40k bike, and 10k run, and I had to stop. I had to stop because of isolation. So yeah, I'm gonna try again. I think I'm gonna try again. It's gonna be a tough one, but I'll try again. It's at my options, and Everton was one of them. And for me, again, at the time, that was the best option.
But how did you find coming to Everton? You've been captain of Portsmouth, and obviously Everton, we just sold Jolie and Lescott, and obviously we brought you in. So what was that like coming into Everton? Was it easy to settle? How did you find the club?
No, it was really easy. To be fair, I didn't have time to think. I think I signed on the Wednesday, went back down south, packed my stuff, came back on the Thursday. No, on the Friday. Came back on the Friday because the lads came back on the played on the Thursday in Europa League. So I came back on the Friday. I trained on my own. Saturday I trained with the lad and played on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to think about anything. You have to be ready to play. And so I think that helped me to settle as well. And plus it was an amazing dressing room. It was so easy to settle. It was a group of lads who've been at the club for so long. And anyone around, everything was clear, everything was sorted. You know what you had to do. The manager was clear on everything. Great mentality, a lot of fun in the dressing room. I knew the area already. It was very easy. I didn't even feel like I needed a couple of weeks or a couple of days to settle. You feel like you're in, and that's it. You played, and here we go, roll on.
You made your debut against Wigan, and Leighton Baines got us the win in about the 94th minute, I remember, with a penalty.
Yeah, I think it was Wigan. Yeah.
That was the first game, and then a few weeks later, you scored your first goal for us in the Europa League against Athens. Yeah. What was that? Was that a good moment for you? To be honest, Sylvain, the size of you, I always thought you should score more off corners.
I know.
I'm not going to say.
I know. It's weird, It's like have defensive mindset, and defensively I'm at the end of every ball, and then offensively I just could not. It's something that's possibly, like, I always said I don't have any regret in football, and that's possibly one of the regrets. It's just like I had that feeling and that anticipation in terms of defensive placement and where the ball would go, but offensively it was completely different for me, and I do regret that, but that's just the way it is.
But what was it? Can you still remember your first goal against Athens? That feeling?
No, I remember. Especially with like a guy like me, you don't score many goals. When you score, it's special. You always plan what you're gonna do, and you forget everything. You just lose your head. You scream. You run around, and you're like, "Oh shit! I was supposed to do this, and I didn't do it." So it's always a great feeling. It's always an amazing feeling. And as well, I just arrived at the club, so that helped me a lot.
Your first Premier League goal was at Anfield, header at the Annie Road end.
Yeah. There's not many that I remember, but I definitely remember this one. Yeah, it was a great goal, and at Anfield, I think it's weird because I'm not Scouse. I'm not neither into like kissing the badges or whatever. I've never done that. That's not me. That doesn't mean I've got no passion for the club at all. It's just not me. But at Everton, we had some lads who've been there forever. So you bass into that Everton Liverpool feeling. right from the beginning. So that meant a lot to me. That did mean a lot to me, and I enjoyed the moment, I have to say. And I actually had the second goal have been disallowed. I still don't know why now, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. It's football again.
It's just typical Everton, is what it is. Our luck at times, but no, it was a great performance, and a day that I actually thought we were going to go on and win. That, you know, we played really well that day and went behind, didn't we, and turned it round after half time, and that was one of the rare occasions lately that I've thought we'd hang on at Anfield and win it, but it wasn't to be. But what a goal! What a goal! The semi-final.
Yeah.
At Wembley, obviously that season, it was strange because we come into a brilliant bit of form after Christmas and we were on a great run, weren't we? And then David Moyes took a lot of stick because we probably moaned as fans that he gave the Anfield Derby up just before the Sunderland game in the FA Cup. We went with a much changed team and got beat, but you know, we get to Wembley and we played quite well. We were all over them really, weren't we, in the first half, and then, you know, obviously second half the back pass and we go on and lose the game. But was that a tough one to get over for you?
That's the most difficult moment of my career, but at the same time I've learned so much from it, about myself, about my teammates, about fans, about football, about how things can turn. I had a really great season. We had a really good season, and it's possibly a game where, when we started the game, we really felt like we've got this. That was really the feeling, like we've got we can match them, and we've got this. We can win that game, and that just, we see that goal changed the momentum of the game. We were on top of this. It's not like for sure we'll win the game, but we were on top of the game. The feeling we had as a player on the pitch at the time is like we've got it. We're on top of them there. We're doing the right stuff. And that goal from Suarez, when I missed that pass, completely changed the momentum of the game. And that was difficult as well. And mentally, I think that's big, the big slap behind the head as well for the players. So it was difficult to come back. And I regret now that I didn't at the time just said some word at halftime, kind of like, guys, I've done the mistake. Don't let this take us down. Like it's 1-1, with the same as if we started the game now. And I regret, but it was impossible for me to do it because I was down. I was just really down. It was just, I had my family over. It's a semi-final. It's against Liverpool. I mean, if I have to choose one game in my career, not to make that mistake, it will be this one. And it was a really, really tough time.
Yeah. I bet in your mind you've smashed it into the stand about 4 million times, haven't you, rather than turning around?
Yeah. You ask yourself why, what happened, why will you do this? Football is made of mistake, and you have to accept it. And we often feel like this mistake is bigger than other. It's not. It's a mistake, and this football is made of mistake, and the best players in the world made mistake. It just happened at a really wrong time, and it changed the momentum of the game.
It did, but also we kind of levelled it out again. It was just one of those things, wasn't it? But I mean, did you went over and apologised after the game, which I personally didn't think you needed to do, but you did do it, and on social media as well. Was that just something you felt that you had to do, or you felt like that would help you with almost like for yourself? I mean, not really for anybody else, but also for yourself, or?
No, I just felt like at the time, I just felt it was normal.
Okay.
It was completely normal for me to do that. I own my mistake. I would not hide from it at all. And when things go well, you take the praise, and if things go bad, you take the criticism. You have to. So at the time, I felt like that's what I have to do, and I did it, and I'm completely fine with it. And then I apologized again on social media, and then I had to move on because football was, keep going. We had games coming, and I had to move on. And when something like that happened, you either just like go in your shell and disappear, or you try to grow from it. And that's what I try to do. And it's difficult because I had so many messages of support but the few message of like, not criticism, but like abuse that you get, that's the one that touch you. You can have 100 message of people telling you like, listen, mate, we know it's a genuine mistake. It's a shame, but keep going. And then you've done great for us. You read it, and yeah, it's not touching you as much as someone who said like, you're absolutely rubbish. Well, that went far. That went really far. Had some horrible messages. Had some really horrible messages. But to be honest with you, now, at the time, I didn't feel like it. But now I realize I had way more support than I had abuse. But the abuse just touched you way more. But it's the direction of my teammate as well that helped me a lot. You know, they see me working every day. The fans is great and it's amazing, and we love the fans. But the one who see you, who know who you are and know how much it affects you, are not the fans. They see the mistake, they don't see how you react.
No.
It's the players, and they know me, and they saw how I reacted, and to have the players behind me, for me that was amazing. Because I'm not gonna lie, there is a point where you're on the train on the way back home, just to walk on the train when you've got all the staff, the family and everything, you don't know where to look. It was horrendous. It was, honestly, it was absolutely horrendous. And 2 hours of journey felt like 24 hours, and everything is going through your head. And one of the things that went through my head was like, I can't play anymore. I can't. I have to stop. I can't play anymore. Like, what? After what you've done and everything, I can't. And then, yeah, you've got then that just come out of your mind, and you're like, well, what are you talking about? Just look how your guys around you trust you. Look the support you've got from your family. Look your support you've got from most of the fans. You're not going to let like a small minority, loud, but a small minority affect you, your career, and what you do. You know it was a genuine mistake. You know you did. I never meant to do that. It just happened. So from that point on, I thought, well, there you go. I move on. Like, I'm going to carry on doing exactly what I've been doing. I'm actually going to work harder, and I'm going to give my best no matter what every game.
I think you just made an incredibly powerful point there about abuse online. And people tend to look at footballers. I've probably done exactly the same, Sylvain, when I was younger. You look at footballers as almost inhuman. We look at you as a commodity. We look at you as a robot. So therefore, every time we walk through the turnstiles and sit down on a Saturday, we expect you to be 100% perfect every single time. Human beings. But even away from that, people give players abuse online, something I don't personally understand. If you're discussing a player with your mates online and you go, oh, he was crap today, that's one thing. But when people at the players, so if I want to talk about Sylvain Distin making a mistake, and then I put at Sylvain Distin was rubbish today, so you see it. People don't understand that. That affects you as a player. You're absolutely right. You can get 1,000 messages telling you you're great, but those two that tell you you're rubbish or you've done this or I'm doing this to you, they affect you well more than the praise. And it shouldn't be like that, because you're right. When you step away, you go, well, hang on, 99% of the messages I receive are positive. The 1% are the ones that stick in your throat, aren't they, or in your mind? And you're absolutely that. I just thought you made that point brilliantly there. But were you surprised when Moyes left? Was there any indication a few months before he was going to go? I know he hadn't signed the contract, and there was always a little bit of speculation, generally around Tottenham with David Moyes, even though he said he was never tempted. Was there anything with the players with a few months ago thinking the gaffer might actually go? No?
No, not at all. It's only when you start, the speculation came with United, that as a player, that's something that it'll be difficult to refuse to go to one of the top 4 clubs at the time.
Yeah.
So as a manager as well, and the opportunity might not come twice. So there's a big chance that the manager will be tempted. But we had no indication. No, I was disappointed, but again, I can't hold it against him.
No.
It was a great opportunity, and he took it.
Yeah. Berto come in that summer. I've said before, he wouldn't have been my choice at that time, but he came in, and that season was excellent, wasn't it? You and Jagielka were brilliant. We played some fantastic football. We finished with 72 points, which was our record. And Stephen Pienaar saying the other day that the first season, Martinez basically just kind of kept everything like it was and just tweaked attacking play. Is that how you saw it as a defender?
Yeah, that, and as well the fact that, as I said, we were so drilled with Moyes, and he's been there for so long that he could have been ill for 2 weeks, not be there, and he would have still know who plays, how to play, and do the same, because he was just, everything was drilled. So
yeah.
I think it's like mentally you know what you have to do, and even if he's a new manager, you keep some of Moyes'
the old
attributes and work ethic, and everything was still there. And possibly as well, Martinez have been wise enough the first season not to arrive and just like erase everything and start from scratch.
Yeah.
So it's just tweak few stuff. It was a completely different mentality. I ended up doing like 100 passes a game, which for me, I always felt like I'm a defender. I love to defend. I take pride in defend. I've got no problem passing with the ball and everything, but that's not my goal. That's not my aim. So it was a different way of thinking, a different. You put as a defender, as a centre back, sometimes we were to be able to play from the back, you put yourself in a position where that you don't feel comfortable at all, because if we lose the ball, I can't defend, I can't do nothing there.
No,
it's from, so I didn't feel comfortable, but it's the manager. He asks you to do it, you do it. But I went really well because of that. For me, Martinez didn't try and change too much too soon, and as well we hold that David Moyes mentality in us. And I think the mix of the two, the first season was absolutely amazing. I have to say that felt really good. Everybody was a bit concerned because we knew what type of manager Martinez was.
Yeah.
But that went really well until the second season, where it's a bit more him. You've got a bit of your Moyes mentality that fade away, and now it's all on Martinez.
Yeah, because we had obviously Romelu Lukaku come in. That first season was brilliant, and Gareth Barry was fantastic, and James McCarthy come in was excellent. So we changed it a little bit. There was some freshness there. What happened in the second season then? Stephen Pienaar, again, just to keep quoting him because he was talking the other day, just said the second season, he quoted it as the wheels came off. He said Martinez started doing his own thing and the play, asking different things of the players. As a fan, I'll tell you how I saw it. As a fan, the pre-season from afar wasn't great. When I look at it, it didn't seem to be great. We were playing games at Tranmere and it wasn't great. And then obviously Leicester, we had Leicester first day and we let them score late on. And the week later we dominated Arsenal and gave them 2 goals in the last 3 minutes. And then obviously Chelsea come and give us a spanking in that 6-3. And then all of a sudden, I think Swansea away in the cup, we got beat 3-0 and then we didn't see it again. And that to me was...
Yeah,
what happened?
I'm glad it happened to me at this stage of my career. Okay. I was 36 or something like that at the time. And so I was able to cope with it and deal with it. But at the same time, I had enough experience to feel it coming. When you go from playing every single game, even I broke my ribs and everything, and they still ask you to play, and you feel like no matter what, even if I've got one leg short, they're still going to ask me to play, which I don't mind. I love it, and I will always do that. To like that preseason where I haven't played a full game, and I just spoke about it. I said, I'm 36, I haven't played a full game yet. No, it's fine, don't worry, your stats are good, and my stats might be good on the computer, but at 36, I know myself, I know my body, I know how I feel. I need a couple of full games before starting the season. No, it's fine. And that was few signs that right away I felt like there's something wrong there. That just doesn't make sense. And without getting into the detail, it's pretty clear. He just didn't want to play me anymore, and I went from playing every game to not even being on the bench or not even being on the squad. And that's the way it is. The why, I never really spoke to him about it. I think I had 2 discussions with him this season. And that's it. That's about it. It's not much to say. I did my best. I trained hard. You can ask any of the staff, apart from him maybe, and any of the lads. I was working my ass off. I was training hard. You can't even say like he didn't train hard, that's why I didn't play him. I was training really hard. I was doing a lot of extra. asked to play. It was Stubbs. No, it wasn't Stubbs. It was Enzi, the manager of the under-21 at the time.
Yeah.
And asked him if it was okay for me to play, because you can train and do as much running as you want. A game is a game.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I want to keep playing next season. I knew already that he will not be here. I'm not stupid. Even if nobody says nothing to me, you can feel it. But I wanted to carry on playing. So I asked him if it was okay for me to play with the under-21, which at 36 years old is a bit weird. But he said, yeah, listen, he's a great guy. He helped me a lot as well. We talk a lot. So I said, I'm not going to play every game because I don't want to take the place. I feel a bit guilty for taking the place of one of the kids,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I need to think about myself and keep fit. And I think I didn't ask anyone the authorization apart from the manager of the under-21, obviously. And after, I think I must have played 3 or 4 games, I've been told that I wasn't allowed to do that anymore. And then you just like, well, now you clearly try to make it personal.
Yeah.
All that without talking. I'm not the type of player who's going to go and knock at the door and say what's going on. That's just not me. I just keep myself low, work my heart off. If you want to play me, great. If you don't want to play me, then just never mind. And I know he tried to play it as if like I was disappointed because Stones took my place. You can speak to Stonesy where I think even the season before I think I was suspended or injured or whatever. You can ask Toffee, any of the young players who come and play. Every time I told them, I'm too old, I should not be playing. The only things you have to do is keep me out. Do exactly what you've been doing so far, keep me out. I'm not going to make it easy for you.
No.
For sure. I'm going to fight, but keep me out. So that wasn't even like a problem with Stonesy, me not being happy. That's pure crap. And I don't really speak about it because what matters is the players, really, and the players know. And I left it there. But did I understand it? No, even up to the last game of the season, where you feel like we didn't speak for 3 months, but I'm training every game and every day and everything. You're gonna have a minimum of respect. But even there, he just, I think it was the day before the game, he was saying out loud that there's no reason for me to play. He's not here to do a send off. And I just didn't understand. But at the same time, that show his personality. That shows his personality. And that last game, something happened because he clearly didn't want me to play. At the end, I ended up being on the bench. So something happened. Somebody above might have said to him, like, listen, you have to do a minimum because it's disrespectful. I don't know. The players, I don't know what happened. But even to that point, he tried to make it difficult for me, just asking me to come to his office just before the game, which the discussion was really short. I said what I have to say, and I just left. If you don't want to play me, don't play me. It's not going to change the 6 years I've spent here. And it's not going to change me being on the pitch at the end of the game and enjoy the moment. So, but I don't know. It must have been difficult for him, but he still decided to play me for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. And at my moments, but yeah, disappointing, especially when we played him with Bournemouth the season after. You bump into him into the corridor and he's not even looking at you. He's looking at his feet, and you just feel like, how, why, what's? I don't know. That's all I can tell you. In this, I might do the headline or not. I absolutely don't care. I've had a lot of managers. I had argument with David Moyes, but I've got ultimate respect for him, and we clashed a lot of time. I speak my mind. I always say what I feel. There's no one in football that I lost respect for, apart from him. Players, staff, fans. That's the only person that I lost respect for because he tried to make things personal. And from my point of view, it looked like he was trying to break me. So, that's why I said I'm happy that it happened at this age, because I was at an age where I could deal with it.
We couldn't understand. I couldn't understand that as a supporter because, okay, so there was no falling out after that Swansea game. There was no. You don't know why you were out the team because there was a rumour, and you can debunk this. You can say no comment, but there was a rumour that there was a dressing room bust up after the Swansea defeat in the League Cup, because then all of a sudden you were. It was as if you didn't even play for us for months, which was absolutely bizarre as a supporter.
Yeah, well, I would like to have my lawyer if you don't mind.
That's fine. Leave it then. Leave it.
No. It was no bus step. Honestly, it was no bus step. I just went and see him. Can't even remember. It was nothing Swansea related. I just went and see him and I just explained to him, like, I still physically don't feel right because I'm trying now to cope for the games that I didn't play
That you
during the
didn't play.
and I'm trying to cope for it. I have to do some extra to gain my fitness and be match fit, and ask for help. And his answer was just take a week off, go away. I'm like, no, hold on, no, I'm here. I just tried to explain, no, take a week off, go away. And from there,
that was it.
That's it. Things change. And as I said, I never had a bust up with him. Possibly, as I said, the last game of the season where I felt like I'm going to tell him what I feel, and I did. And it was not really a bust up. It was just me speaking my mind. And that's about it. I never had a conversation with him. Never. He stopped playing with the under 21. I never went and asked him why. I never had a chat with him. Never. That's just the way. If something happened, I'm not sure why, and now I don't care. For me, the most important is I show respect to my teammates. There is no one in the club, staff, players who can say anything. You can ask anyone; they will all say to you like, "He works his ass off. He trained hard." And in my mind, it's like, if they need me one day, because there's maybe 5 players injured and 2 yellow, 2 red cards. If they need me, I need to be ready. Not for him, but for the club, and my teammates, and that's what I did, and that helped me to live with my head high and not feeling ashamed or anything.
Mirrors, to be honest, it mirrors what Stephen said the other day about obviously how he left the club a year after you. It was very, very similar circumstances as well, and even to the point where with injuries, when he had an injury, and very, very bizarre. It's things as a supporter when you look at it. It's things like, obviously, I saw comments the other day that you made about John Stones as well. What did you think of him when you first saw him when he was coming into the Everton side? Because as a fan, I remember him making his debut at Stoke, and he played up at Newcastle, and he had the headband on, and he seemed like a proper defender that liked to defend. That was the first impression I got of him. He was a defender who was good on the ball, but he liked to get it, tackles in and stuff. And then that flipped to being someone who decided Cruyff turns were better in a penalty area and not defending. So what was your impression of John Stones?
It wasn't a short comment. It was part of a discussion a bit similar to this one. I think he's a great player. I think he's got amazing attributes, and I just think he's lacking a little bit of defensive mindset. As for centre back, defensive mindset. But now again, he's perfect for the manager you've got now. And at the time, he was perfect for Martinez, because he's the type of player who will just like try and try. But the problem I've got with this, and I think it's football in general now, everybody want to start and play from the back. It's like you don't give responsibility to the players for their mistake. You just let them make a mistake, and then you tell them it's fine. That's the type of mistake I want you to make. Just do it again. And for me, as a defender, that just don't sit right. I'm like, no, you have to explain to that. That's the way I want to play, but just like be more responsible. But you can't, if you allow someone to make mistakes and don't give him critics or don't give him any help on how not to do this mistake, then I feel like mentally you go in a state of like, well, I can make a mistake. It's fine. I'm not saying that's what happened to Stonesy at all.
No.
But that's the type of manager that Martinez was. That happened very similar at City with the goalkeeper the first season, when he kept making mistakes and the manager was just backing him off. But that doesn't stop him the season after to replace him. No. So I'm like, what is it? Are you saying that for the press? But then on the back of your mind, like, I get rid of that guy as soon as I can. And when I see a guy like Stonesy, like a young player, quality you've got, not playing, or sometimes he's coming back from injury and they've got like a midfield and they rather play the midfield as a centre back and having him on the bench, I just don't. That doesn't sit right with me. I just don't like it. He's got qualities. He can be an amazing player, and he's already a good player. But I just would like, as a centre back, I just would love to see him have a bit more responsibility defensively. That's me. I'm a bit old school. That's how I see things. I'm not his manager. I'm not his agent. I'm not his dad. That's me looking at it. We speak like that. Tomorrow, he might gonna move to, I don't know, Barcelona and ended up being like the player that everybody believe he could be. We don't know. I'm not saying he's not gonna do nothing. I'm just saying, as a centre back, a bit old school. That's the side that is missing for me. Forget about the play. Forget if you've got enough. Technically, he's good enough to do those type of things. if defensively he's strong enough. If defensively you make some mistakes and then you try and play from the back and you make mistakes as well, then yeah, you're going to be open to criticism. And then the feeling I have is sometimes like, does his manager believe in him? And that's just question. But he's an amazing player and he's still young and he's still learning. And I just hope that's something gonna click in his mind and he's gonna have that defensive mindset. And possibly that's what he needs. He possibly needs a different type of manager. A manager said, yeah, okay, we want to play for the back, but you have to be responsible for what you do. You can't do those type of mistakes again.
I always thought he'd be, just the way he's gone, better just playing in front of the back, in front of two centre-backs, almost like Fernandinho does for City, but not in the back four, if you know what I mean. Like, because he's so good on the ball.
I think he played there a couple of times as well with City. Yeah. So that's something that might suit him from now on. Yeah, but he needs to find his position.
Yeah, in that fair,
from centre back to in front of the defense, he needs to be in position, settle down, and learn the trade.
Yeah. Just take you back then to that final game. You mentioned it when, obviously, the manager had a change of heart, or maybe just got a bit of a conscience for 10 minutes.
I doubt it was conscience.
Well, something that maybe he had the finger from above telling him what he had to do. What was that like coming onto the pitch for the last time, knowing that it was the last time?
It was amazing. You know, that keeping strong for like 6 months, not saying nothing, training hard. I was just doing like double session every day. I was training, having food, and then staying behind, and had Tabs, another fitness coach who was there at the time, who helped me and everything. Yeah. And it was hard to train hard and not play. It's really difficult. But those 10 minutes made all the hard work I've done for 6 months worth it. That's the moment when you feel like, I'm so glad I didn't just started to feel like, you know what, I'm not playing well. I'm going to be a dick now. I'm going to talk to the press. I'm not going to train. I'm going to pretend I'm injured. I was so happy that I did the right thing, because you get respect from the players, because all the players will speak for you. You don't even have to speak; the players will speak for you.
Yeah.
And even if sometimes after that semi-final, you've got doubts of like, does the fans still like me? Those 10 minutes just clear everything. Like, you know what? It's what we said. You get influenced by a very small minority just because they're loud enough.
Yeah.
But this, for me, was like, it's great. It was great. Strangely great. I knew I was leaving, so it was emotional and everything, because I didn't want to leave. I would have loved to finish my career at Everton, but I left with a smile, and that's what mattered to me. That's really what mattered to me. I left with a smile and proud and heads up. That's it. The rest is just people trying to do their stuff.
I can say we still loved you. We still love you now. So, you know, that didn't change after you know, nonsense comments from a noisy minority. Ignore that, because, like I say, 99% of Evertonians love you and still do. If you had to pick a five-a-side team of the players you played with, you've got to be in it, though. Wow. You have to be in it.
Oh, five-a-side. Well, you have to be Tim Howard in the goal. The problem is, like, do you pick your mates or do you pick a team to win? That's the problem. So team, me, I'm going to get team, me, Pina, Luis Saha, Fellini.
Oh, that's a side. That's a tough side. That is a tough team. The king up front. Yeah. Actually
play five-a-side with him. I go to my mum lives in south of France, so I go often to visit her, and that's the only time I play football. I go play five-a-side over there, and I play with Louis, and trust me, he didn't lose nothing. Oh my God, his finishing is like, and he's short distance, so he don't have to run, he don't have to defend. He's really happy. I still have it now. We have some good games. We play with really good teams over there. That is. It's kids, obviously. Kids. Call them kids. They're like 20 years old, and they win the league, the five-a-side French league, most of the year. So that is good players. So you have to be on the But it's I love it. I love it. Well, I've been there. You know, I went from Main Road to the Etihad Stadium, and Main Road it was a bit like Goodison Park.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like old start, very close. Possibly not the comfort, possibly not, but the atmosphere was amazing.
Yeah.
And it took us a good 2 seasons, if not 3, to build an atmosphere at the new stadium because they split all the fans who've been there for so long. You know, that's something that maybe Everton should look at, and then the people who's in charge of the stadium at Spurs, because I spoke about it. I went to do some TV work at the new Spurs stadium. The atmosphere was great, and they explained me that they moved the fan by section instead of one by one and split them around. They keep like section of fans and move them in different places, so you still know who's around you, and that helped them to rebuild the atmosphere really quickly. And I have to say, it was a really good atmosphere when I went there. So that's something that is really, really important. But listen, I think about Everton now. Yeah, maybe at moments the season is not going exactly as they want and everything, but the future looks really bright. I mean, financially, they've got people who can back them up. Not as much as you can have in the top 6 or whatever, but still enough to be able to compete. A new stadium coming, a lot of young players is great. The only stuff I'm missing when I watch Everton is I don't feel that Everton mentality yet. The team is young and they have to rebuild it, and they have to rebuild it their ways. Because as an ex-player, you feel like you want them to have the same mentality we had, but it's not. It's different players, different generation. They just need to find their Everton spirit. That's the only stuff that's missing. But the future looks bright, I'll say.
Were you surprised you were able to get Carlo Ancelotti in? And is that a good appointment for you?
It's an amazing appointment. If you want to break into that top 4, you want someone who's been there. You don't want someone who's never been there and end up having like the best group of players you've ever had. You want someone who's been there, know how to get there, not someone that you're just gonna guess. No disrespect for any manager they had before. Just that for me, that speaks volume about the club intentions. We get like a manager with the experience who've had like amazing players, been into amazing clubs and proved himself at top level, and that's great. That's great. You can feel the change anyway, even in the stadium, the atmosphere, the players around. The players have to respect him, and that's really important. You know, when he speaks, you know he's speaking about his experience, not guessing, not trying to pretend. That's really important. So I think it's an amazing appointment for the club. It's a great opportunity for the club.
Sylvain, listen, thank you so much for taking time out your day. It was absolutely pleasure to chat to you. Fantastic. Stay safe. Keep that fitness going. You look like a machine.
Oh, yeah. That's the only stuff you have to do. So.
But honestly, thank you so much for joining us today. An absolute pleasure to speak to you. Look after yourself. Thank you.
Too.
Take care. Cheers, pal. Bye-bye. Big thanks there to Sylvain Distin. What a man. What a man. Former Everton defender, of course. Some very frank, open discussion there. Absolutely brilliant. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want more videos, join us over on Patreon. See you later.